Hey, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Despite the dumpster fire that 2020 was, it did ironically bring me two of the biggest clients that I've ever worked with. And we're talking multi-billion-dollar businesses, very well known in their respective industries. And one of these clients alone is going to be bringing my business an extra $80,000 a year in revenue. If you want to work with bigger fish, which you absolutely can, you should know ahead of time that the experience of working with much bigger clients is not like what it feels like to work with smaller clients. To be clear, it's not in a bad way. This isn't a conversation of which type of client is better and which is worse. They're just different. But rather, our goal here in this video is to prepare you to go out and land much bigger clients if you're in a place where you are able and eager to really maximize your revenue. This applies to solopreneurs, but also if you've got a small team like I do, if you're a freelancer or a consultant, it doesn't matter. If you're a client-based business, you can learn something in this video. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about working with much bigger clients is that everything takes longer. So if you're communicating with a potential client and it's a big company, or if you're already working with them, keep that in mind. Whatever you're going to do, whatever has to be done, it's going to take longer. Scheduling calls, getting a hold of the right people, finalizing your work, everything. This isn't a bad thing, I really want to emphasize that. But landing smaller clients, you can land a small client in a week if you wanted to. Landing bigger clients, like multi-billion-dollar clients, that can take several weeks and even a few months. And that's because there's a longer chain of command. There are more people involved, more people who have to sign off on things. There's just more involved. Keep this in mind if you're approaching a billion-dollar lead. You have to have patience. Be prepared to nurture this lead and follow up with them, and once you sign them, you have to keep that same mentality. Second, you have to be more flexible with how you get paid. With smaller clients, you have a lot more say, understandably. You're dealing with a smaller client, a smaller team, so you have the room to say, this is how I want to get paid. This is when I want to get paid. But when the client is much bigger, you're going to have to follow their rules. Again, not a bad thing. With the two bigger clients that I landed this year, for instance, they told me, this is how we pay our contractors. And I was like, cool, you got it. They already have these processes in place because they have to. They're a huge company. Without processes, huge companies will fail. I wasn't going to tell them how I do it. They've got their own company, their own systems, employees who are hired specifically to manage payroll and paying vendors, and on and on and on. I fall in line with them, not the other way around. I bring this up because this is not typically the advice that I give you. I always encourage you guys when you're going to land clients or when you're talking to leads, you're a business owner, so you say to them, this is how I charge my clients, this is when I charge my clients, and you lay down some ground rules. But the bigger the client is, the more flexible you have to be. Third, you need to become much more acclimated with their company compared to your smaller clients. The idea here is to work with much bigger companies who have huge budgets, so they're going to be paying you a lot more money. This also means that the expectations are higher. If I've got a client and they're paying me, say, $2,000 a month, they are no less important than a client paying me $6,000 or $8,000 a month, but since they're paying less, they get less. This is how business works. So the energy that you put into learning more about your clients and the products and services that they offer should be relative to what they're paying you. For bigger clients, be ready to throw yourself into it completely, almost as if you're an employee, but you're not. You are not an employee, but you'll almost want to treat this client like you are, in the sense that you're going to be dedicating a lot more time and energy to learning as much about the client as you possibly can. Again, this is because they're going to be paying you so much more. For my bigger clients, I do a lot more to learn more about their language and their culture, their products, their services. I soak up everything I can. Fourth, plan to make yourself more available. If you're working with companies that have employees all over the world, like my clients do, this might mean that you're going to have meetings or conversations that happen at kind of strange hours. Within reason, be flexible. If someone in another country schedules a meeting and it's 2 a.m. for you, then you just need to very politely tell them, hey, this is 2 a.m. for me, can I catch up with you at a later time? But if you have meetings every once in a while that are a little early or a little late, just do it. Fifth, working with this client will likely be more of a collaboration. With many of my smaller clients, I work almost entirely on my own. I don't run my work by anyone, I don't approve it with anyone, I just turn it in. And I've been working with a lot of these clients for a long time. They know me, they trust me, so it's okay anyway. With my big clients, this is not how it works. Again, it's because they have their own processes, just like we discussed earlier. The assignments that I work on, at a minimum, there are 2 other people working on them at the same time, and it's usually more than that. So I'm communicating a lot more with people, it's more of a conversation, a lot more back and forth, and that's just because there are more cooks in the kitchen. Now, this isn't to say that if the whole process is a huge mess, then that's okay and it's totally normal. You still want to work with clients that are organized and on top of things, and that's what my experience with my clients has been like. Yes, the process is a lot longer and there's much more involved, but we follow the same steps every time. I think this really caught me off guard though in the beginning because, again, with my smaller clients, I work very independently. I crawl into my little hole and I do my work, and that's it, it's done. I generally don't have to communicate with a ton of people, but I've noticed as I start working with bigger and bigger clients, I'm a lot more involved with their team as a whole. You gotta be patient, be open, understand that this experience might be something very new for you. You might be having to do things that you're not used to, not comfortable with, but this comes with the territory of working with bigger companies. So again, to reiterate, I know I sound like a broken record, none of these things are bad things. None of these are negatives. I would never tell you smaller clients are better than bigger clients or vice versa. And I really do want to encourage you to go out there and try to land some bigger fish. If you're committed to the service that you offer and you're committed to delivering results and producing very high quality work, why shouldn't you be able to go out and land bigger clients? If you want to learn my exact process for landing clients, it's not too late to sign up for my January challenge, where I will be working side by side with a small group of professionals to help them land their next client in 4 weeks. The program is launching January 4th, so enrollment is closing soon. If you think you might be interested in joining, email me right now so we can schedule a call, talk a little more, see if the program is a good fit for you, and decide if we want to move forward together. Give this video a thumbs up before you go, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video, and I'll catch you next time.